Thank you, councillors. Thank you, and welcome to the ordinary meeting of the council, 10th November 2021. I'll start the proceedings this evening until we appoint the mayor, which is in the agenda, and then I will hand the meeting back over to the mayor for the rest of the meeting. Opening and acknowledgement of country. We, the Benalla City Council, acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting. We pay our respects to their elders past and present, and to elders from other communities who may be here today. With a statement of commitment, after the mayor is elected, I'll get the mayor to lead that particular commitment. Governance matters. I think councillors are aware of the proper running of the meeting and the governance that the meetings are held under. Disclosure of conflicts of interest. If there are any conflicts of interest, councillors, please raise those when we call for that. Apologies. I don't think there are any apologies this evening, so we can bypass that one. Confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting. Recommendation on top of page 5 that the minutes of the council meetings held on Wednesday the 6th of October and Wednesday the 27th of October 21 be confirmed as true and accurate. Councillor Davis and Hearn. Councillor Davis would like to speak. Councillor Hearn. Any other councillors? If not, I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Public question time. We have 2 questions this evening. I'll read those out. First question is from Janet Cooper. How many tenders have been received for the planned museum and cinema project, and from whom? The tender process is a confidential process, so that won't be disclosed. Second question is from Daniel Gray. Concerning the Cinema Cafe project, is this project carbon neutral outside of using carbon offsets? This is a similar question that was asked several months ago, and I'll respond in the same way. The building has been designed to meet the deemed to satisfy provisions under Section J of the Building Code of Australia. In addition to these minimum standards, additional materials have been chosen over and above, such as double glazed windows and doors, an increase in R rating for insulation, and installation of water tanks. The council is also investigating installation of a large-scale solar system to offset council building energy usage. Could I have somebody move the recommendation that the questions and answers be noted, please? Councillor Claridge, a seconder. Councillor O'Brien. Councillor Claridge, would like to speak?
No, thank you.
Councillor O'Brien.
No, thank you.
Any other councillor like to speak? If not, I'll put that motion. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. There are no petitions this evening. On page 7, Finance and Operations Committee, I'll direct your attention to the recommendation that the reports and recommendations from those following dates be adopted. Have a move and second, please. Councillor Davis and Claridge. Councillor Davis, would you like to speak?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Claridge.
No, thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak? If not, I'll put that motion. Those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. On page 9, Planning and Development Committee. Can I direct your attention to the recommendation that the reports and recommendation of the Planning and Development Committee meeting is held on the 3rd of November be adopted, please. So mover and seconder, Councillor Hearn. Seconder, Councillor Gunaratne. Councillor Hearn, would you like to say anything?
No, thank you.
Councillor Gunaratne.
No, thank you.
Any other councillor? If not, I'll put that in motion. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. On page 11, 8.3, Assembly of Councillors and Advisory and External Committees. I'll take that as read. Councillors and recommendation that the report be noted. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Gunaratne and Councillor Claridge. Councillor Gunaratne, would you like to speak?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor
No,
Claridge.
thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other councillor like to speak? If not, I'll put that in motion. Those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Now we are on to the election of the mayor.
Page 13.
Oh, hang on.
15.
15. 9.1 is a standing item. There are no documents for authorisation and signing. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, could I move that we suspend standing orders?
Certainly. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor King.
Thank you. As the next item of business is the election of mayor, and I'm not standing, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my fellow councillors for putting up with me for the last 2 years. When I was elected in November 19, I was looking forward to all the ceremonial duties and promoting Benalla, but unfortunately COVID-19 struck a few months in, and I've spent 2 years warning people to wash their hands, keep social distance and stay at home. Instead of inviting people to come and enjoy our city, I had to tell them to stay away. But there's also been some great times, visiting our rural villages, talking to clubs and organisations, and to people in general. We're a council that has seen possibly the largest infrastructure boom in Benalla's history. And we have and we will continue to ensure the best outcome for the city. We have recently completed our council plan, long-term financial plan and the community plan, so now is the time to put them into practice. I'd also like to thank our CEO, Don Testoni. We have a great relationship, and that is vital to ensure the flow of information to and from the elected members. His door is always open, not only to the mayor but to all the councillors. I wish the new mayor all the best, and I'm sure they will enjoy their term as much as I have. I also sincerely hope I'll be the last lockdown mayor. In closing, I'd like to share a quote, I love quotes, from Reinhold Neuer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you. And I'd like to move that we resume standing orders.
Thank you, Councillor.
Or do you want to?
I won't accept a second, so it's not official. Are there any other speakers on that?
I'll move that we go back to suspend standing orders. Thank you.
Thank you for the meeting. I know this is out of order a little bit, but on behalf of the staff, thank you, Councillor Courage, for your time as the Mayor, and likewise, it's been an absolute pleasure working beside you, as it is with the rest of the council, so thank you. Election of the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor. Councillors, I'll direct your attention to report 9.2. There is a formal process that we must follow. The first one is to actually elect the term, 1 or 2 years. And if I can direct your attention to page 16, there is a recommendation that the term of appointment to the Mayor for either 1 or 2 years. I have somebody prepared. Councillor Davis.
I'd like to move it for 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Firth. Thank you. Councillor Davis, would you like to speak?
No, thank you.
Councillor Firth.
I don't, thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor? If not, I'll put that motion or recommendation of the term of appointment for the Mayor be for 1 year. All those in favour? Thank you. Against? That's carried. Thank you very much. Now on to the election of the Mayor. I'll call for nominations for the position of Mayor. Can I have nominations, please? Councillor.
I would like to nominate Councillor Hearn for position of Mayor.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for the nomination? Councillor King. Thank you. Councillor Hearn, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations or further nominations for the position of Mayor? If not, I will declare that Councillor Hearn is elected as Mayor for the 21-22 council year. Wait there. We'll do the next bit. Now for the position of Deputy Mayor, this will be for the same length of time, so for 12 months. Could I call for nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor, please? Councillor Davis.
I'd like to nominate Donald Firth.
Do I have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Gunner-Ratney, thank you. Councillor Firth, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Okay. Thank you. Do I have any further nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor? If not, I will declare that Councillor Firth is elected Deputy Mayor for the 21-22 council year. Thank you. And now I'll invite Councillor Hearn to come up and share the rest of the meeting. Thank you. She certainly does. That's the,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How exciting. A female mayor for the first time in 7 years, and only the 5th time a woman has had the opportunity to represent Benalla as the mayor in its history. It's an incredible privilege to be able to stand alongside the other females who have held this position. Joyce Say, Dulcie Brack, Pat Claridge, and Barbara Alexander. I must say I didn't know Joyce, but going on the other 3 women, I believe all to be very strong, independent and hardworking females. And I'm in very good company, so watch out, boys. Thank you to my fellow councillors for placing your trust in me to represent you and our community in this very important position. With your support and wealth of experience, I have confidence I can face any challenge that may lie ahead. A special thanks to the former Mayor, Danny Claridge, for the great work he's done over the last 2 years. Also for his guidance and insight while I was his deputy in preparing me for this role. I have lived in Benalla all my life, and to have the opportunity to advocate and champion for my community is a humbling and remarkable honour, one which I don't take lightly. I love being a Benalla Rural City Councillor, helping the community and learning more about the town I've grown up in. How lucky is our town to have an inspirational team of councillors that are committed leaders and grassroots advocates for a diverse background of community connections. A team with a have a go and get things achieved attitude that is at the heart of all the work we do day in and day out for our city. Building Benalla is a strong commitment made by us all as we work tirelessly to ensure that our town keeps growing, developing and supporting all our residents. Ensuring that equality is achieved has been a strong aspect to our council and an ongoing endeavour as we make sure the town's facilities continue to enable all residents to have a success. My time on council has seen a collegial period of taking on projects that benefit all Benalla residents and ensure that all can have the opportunity to feel heard, connected, and a part of the future of our rural city. During my time as Mayor, I will work tirelessly with my fellow councillors, championing development and growth for our town as we set a plan forward to support local business and provide more opportunities for business development and pride. We will come out of the COVID pandemic stronger and more resilient and more determined to get a fair share for our towns. This will be achieved by our dynamic team that continues to look to the future. It would be remiss of me not to mention my wonderful supportive family, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do this work. Therefore, I'd like to acknowledge the love, support and assistance I receive effortlessly from my husband Russell and my sons Brad and Nick. Sorry. Thank you again to the councillors for their vote of support tonight, and to each and every rural city resident for your support of this inspirational council. Together, we will continue to build a bigger Benalla and reduce the burden on the ratepayers. Together as a team, we are committed to ensure that our council continues to have a strong and united voice for our constituents, and that all Benalla sees the benefits of the hard work of our many community endeavours. I take on this opportunity with good faith, goodwill and a fierce determination to ensure a bigger Benalla that works in the best interests for all residents. Thank you for your time and your unwavering commitment to Benalla. Councillors, we'll just do our commitment. So please stand. I declare that as a councillor of the Nullarbor City, I will undertake on every occasion to carry out my duties in the best interest of the community, and that my conduct shall maintain the standards of our council code of conduct, so that I may faithfully represent and uphold the trust placed in the council by the people of the Nullarbor District. Yes, Councillor King.
Madam Chair, can I move to suspend standing orders?
Yes, can I have someone second that? Councillor Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and what a privilege it is to say that for the first time. I just want to say a couple of quick words, if I can. Firstly, to congratulate you on your appointment to the mayorship. Welcome to the club. I believe that your maiden speech was one of the best I've ever heard, so a very big congratulations on that. I very much look forward to working with you, supporting you, and encouraging you over the next 12 months to do everything you have just said you will do, and continue to drive Benalla forward and put Benalla on the map. So a very big congratulations to you tonight, and Benalla is in very safe hands with you at the helm. To our deputy, congratulations on your appointment tonight as well, and I look forward to again continuing to work with yourself and supporting our new mayor. So a very big congratulations. And finally to Councillor Claridge, a very big acknowledgement for you tonight and the work that you've done over the last 12 months in 2 years, 12 months with myself in getting the council to where it is today. The first year is always a very big year for any new council, with the development of the council plan and the budget and the community consultation. Your statesmanship has been on display every day in the role as mayor, and I congratulate you and thank you for the support you've shown this council and also for me as an individual councillor. It's no easy feat doing this through a pandemic, but you've done it very well, and congratulate you and thank you for all of your work. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, Councillor Davis.
Thank you. I'll just continue on from where I think my colleague left off. Well done, Bernie. You've earned the. You don't just become a mayor; you earn the role. You certainly, in my mind, earned that role, and I'm willing and able, as long as I can, to work with you. I think you'll do a fantastic job, and it's great to see you on board. As once again, my old sparring partner over here, Councillor Firth, a wealth of knowledge, and I continue to work, and I hope we continue our great relationship we've got. Thank you. To our departing mayor, where do I start? I look up on the board there, and I've actually worked for been part of a council of 9 out of 10 of the mayors on that board there. I can honestly say that you're probably in the top echelon of some of them up there. There's one there that probably has your name, and she was a very good councillor and a very good mayor. I'm not saying she was better than you or you were better than her. She might have been a bit more articulate when it came to pronunciation and going through the script to make sure that the dot points and that was signed off. On a serious side, Danny, you've done a great job. You've come in. We fortunately employed a CEO from Mexican from over the river. You've had to work with him and get him on track. And you've had to work with councillors. First year of new council, settling in with new councillors, getting them all up to speed in the governance and so forth. You've been a very good mentor for them. I don't want to talk any more about COVID. We all know what COVID's been like, and to run a council and be mayor during COVID is no mean feat for either you, the CEO, or the staff. So I think we've got a very good working council. I look at the vision of our previous mayors and our council, and I see what they've done in the town as far as major projects. I'm glad you've led one that's going to happen over the road, because I think that's a vision that people in 20, 30, 40 years' time is going to look back on. I won't amble on, but well done, and thanks for being mayor.
Councillor Firth.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm not going anywhere near the thin ice so the Davis has gone. I would just simply like to point out that with regards to Danny came in when we needed someone to take over, and for the last year of the last term of council, he put his hand up and did a fantastic job, and then got stuck by COVID-19, sort of like you, mate. But then was prepared to give it another go, and he has done a fantastic job, and I do appreciate that, and I think all the councillors do appreciate the work you've done. With Bernie, and I refer to you as Bernie because that's how I know you, I work with you. Lots will be said about your gender. I don't think it's got anything to do with gender. I really do believe, and I know that right at the start of the last term, 5 years ago, I said to you that you said to me that you wanted to go further as far as you could in this council. And I said, well, that's fine by me, just do the work. Well, Bernie, you've done the work. You've chaired everything that can possibly be done. You've done all the hours that you have to do, and you've worked well with everybody involved. So well done, and you deserve exactly where you are tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Did anyone else want to speak? Yes, Councillor O'Brien.
Sorry. Yes, first of all, I'd like to offer my sincere congratulations, Bernie. It's great for the team, and well done. I think it's a sign of the times that we all know there is a difference between male and female, and I think that women do take on a different view as we will go forward. And I think with Bernie at the helm, I think hopefully, or I'm hoping that we will see that direction, definitely. Congratulations to you too, Don. I mean, I think we need a great mayor, but we need great support as well. And I think with the rest of the councillors behind you, I think we've got, we can really look forward to a great 12 months ahead. Danny, first mayor I've ever worked under. So, it's been really lovely having your guidance. And if I've had any problems or questions or queries, I've been able to contact you, ready access. So thanks very much for all your hard work and being a steadier within the group. Thank you.
Anybody else would you like to speak?
No, thank you, Chair.
Can I get somebody to bring that back in place? Put it back into standing orders. Thank you, Justin, Councillor King and Councillor Davis. We'll move on. Item 9.3, determining the meeting cycles for the council and the committee. Mr. Chastain.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will take the report largely as read and direct you to the recommendation at the bottom of page 19, but happy to obviously answer any questions. The appendix is attached with all of the meetings set out for, my God, 2022, not too far away.
Are there any questions? Yes, Councillor O'Brien.
Yes, I just got one question. Thank you, Chair. Madam Chair, it sounds nice, doesn't it? That I'm just wondering if some of those meetings that we're planning, we could possibly schedule in some meetings in our rural townships during the next 12 months. That would be great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Can I please have someone move the recommendation at the bottom of page 19? Councillor King, seconded. Councillor Davis, would you like to speak to that?
No, thank you.
Would you like to speak to
No,
that?
thank you, Madam Chair.
Would anyone else like to speak? All those in favour? And that's passed. Thank you. Move on to 9.4, appointment of council representatives to advisory committees, peak industry bodies and regional and community-based committees. Mr. Testroni.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Get used to saying that, don't we? Inside the report this evening, councillors, we had a list of all the committees of the council, but the representatives were blank. I do have that list here, and I believe all the councillors have a list in front of them also. Just for the record, I might quickly run through what is being recommended, because the recommendation this evening is obviously to accept that. The Australia Day Advisory Committee, Councillors Hearn and Gunaratne. Audit and Risk Advisory Committee, Chair of the Finance and Operations Committee, and Councillor Davis. The Benalla Airport Advisory Committee, Councillor Claridge and Davis. Benalla Festival Advisory Committee, Councillors Firth and King. Benalla Sports and Equestrian Reserve Advisory Committee, Councillor Hearn. Communications Advisory Committee, Councillor Claridge, Davis and Hearn. The Riverine Parklands Advisory Committee, I actually had blank.
Yes, because
There was
one
talk about
That will
wine.
wind it up, yep.
So it says.
The Former Migrant Camp Conservation Management Plan Implementation Steering Committee, Councillors Claridge, Firth and Gunneratne. The Community Plan Implementation Steering Committee, Councillor Gunneratne and Councillor O'Brien. Page 2, the Accessibility Reference Group, Councillors Firth and O'Brien. The Municipal Emergency Management Planning Committee and Fire Management Planning Committee, mouthful, Councillor Hearn. Municipal Flood Management Planning Committee, Councillor Hearn. The Benalla Local Safety and Traffic Liaison Committee, Councillors Hearn and King. Benalla Youth Service Providers Network, Councillor Firth. The Live for Life Partnership Group, Councillor O'Brien. The Goulburn Murray Climate Alliance, Councillor O'Brien. The Hume Region Local Government Network, Councillor Hearn. The Ovens Murray Regional Partnership. Some of these are actually set aside for myself, that's why the Chief Executive Officer will be placed in there. The Municipal Association of Victoria, Councillor Claridge. North East Waste and Resource Recovery Group Local Government Forum, Councillor Claridge. The Rural Councils Victoria, I'm actually a board member, I'm a committee member of that, so the CEO. North East Victoria Tourism Board Incorporated, once again I hold a board position with that, so that'll be the CEO. The Benalla P12 College School Council, Councillor Gunneratne. Benalla Historical Society Incorporated, Councillor Claridge. The Benalla Family Research Group, Councillor Claridge. The Benalla Gardens Oval Committee of Management Incorporated, Councillor Davis. The Benalla Indoor Recreation Centre Committee of Management Incorporated, Councillors Firth and Hearn. The Benalla Showgrounds and Recreation Reserve Committee of Management Incorporated, Councillor King. The Churchill Reserve Committee of Management Incorporated, Councillors Firth and Gunneratne. Early Years Network, Councillor King. Health and Wellbeing Partnership Group, Councillor O'Brien. The State Gliding Centre Committee of Management Incorporated, Councillor Claridge. United Friendly Society Reserve Committee of Management Incorporated, Councillors Firth and Hearn. And that's it. Madam Mayor.
So, yes, Councillor Davis.
If there's
you have
no
a question?
discussion on that, I'd like to move that recommendation.
Yes.
9.4,
The
thank you.
recommendation is on.
Oh, sorry, yes, I should have mentioned the Benalla Art Gallery. Sorry, Madam Chair, the Benalla Art Gallery, we are looking to change the structure of that particular committee. There will be a discussion paper coming to the council at the next assembly on the proposed structure going forward. That's why that hasn't been put. So apologies.
Okay, still no questions? You've got a question? No, righto, so recommendations on page 24. Moved Councillor Davis, seconded Councillor Claridge. Would you like to speak, Councillor Davis?
Sorry for jumping in, Madam Chair. That's it.
Would you like to speak, Councillor Claridge?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's great to see the list of organisations that councillors sit on, and the general public probably don't get much of a chance to see exactly what councillors do, and it's a great opportunity for the general public to see the amount of work that councillors do put in. So well done for everyone for taking the responsibility to get onto all these different committees and organisations. So well done, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Claridge. Anybody else like to speak? There's no one else would like to speak. I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? That's passed. Move on to item 9.5, appointment of council official newspaper for 21-22. Mr. Tester.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will take the report as read and just direct your attention to the recommendation on page 25. Obviously, the Benalla Ensign we've had a long-standing relationship with and looking to continue that relationship. Happy to answer any questions, Madam.
Are there any questions? If there's no questions, can I have somebody move that recommendation? Councillor Firth, seconded Councillor King. Would you like to speak, Councillor Firth?
No, thank you.
Would you like to speak, Councillor
No,
King?
thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak? I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? That's passed. Item 9.6, the annual report. Mr. Tester.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The report presents for consideration the Benalla City Council annual report for 2020-21. Tough year, very tough year, but it was pleasing to see the results come through and what the council was able to deliver to the community. So congratulations to the councillors for supporting that work. The annual report provides an account to the community and the council's performance to our community. The report details achievements against the goals in the council plan and performance against stipulated measures. It also provides a detailed account of the council's financial management across the 2021 financial year. The annual report has been distributed under separate cover and that is available for downloading off the council's website. Once received by the council this evening, the annual report will be forwarded to the minister and made available for public inspection at the council's website at the Customer Service Centre and the Sir Edward Weary Dunlop Learning Centre. It is with great pleasure that we are able to present this report to the community this evening. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes into running a community, and it is a great overview of what we all achieve for the community in the Benalla City Council. I'm happy to take any questions, Madam Chair, or direct your attention to the recommendation on page 29.
Are there any questions? If there's no questions, have you
Just
got?
like to move the motion.
Yes, so recommendation on page 29, councillor Firth moved, seconded councillor Davis. Would you like to speak, councillor Firth?
I would think, Madam Chair, that I know there are people in the community that have an opinion of the way the council does their business. And along with opinion, you really have to have something to back it up. And this report gives you some information of exactly the facts that go on in any local government. And I'm as aware as anybody, possibly not as aware as Councillor Davis, but our country roads and the condition of them and the challenge that this and every small rural council has in maintaining the condition of the roads, drains and everything else that we have to do. But I'd like to point out that there's information in this report that you can compare. I did some sums. Google's a wonderful thing actually, sometimes. But just so that people can put things, apples and apples, and the comparisons with other local governments. For example, I took three: Benalla, Bendigo, and the Hume City Council. That's a metropolitan one. In the report, you'll see that Benalla population density per length of road. There are 10 people living in our community for every kilometre of road that we have to maintain. So therefore, that's where our revenue comes from, those 10 people. For every kilometre in Bendigo, there's 48 people living. And that's where the revenue comes from there. And it's 2,915 kilometres and there's 140,000 people in that community. If you go to Hume, local government area, you have 250,000 people and they have 1,357 kilometres of road to maintain. In other words, and that equates to 184 people per kilometre. So that just puts it into some kind of context, the challenge that we've got. However, I also know that this council is absolutely committed to putting as many and as much resource as we possibly can. Balanced, of course, but we intend to build on the monies and the commitment that we do to our country roads. But there's a lot of other information in there, and there's a lot of stuff that you can actually go through. And I do recommend the whole of the community actually have a look at the report and see the work that we do as elected members to try and get enough out of an absolutely limited bucket of money and resources. And I do thank our staff as we do a lot because they do a lot. And thank you again. Other than that, thank you.
Thank you, councillor Firth. Would you like to speak, councillor Davis?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm a bit shaken and shocked by Councillor Firth being a staunch sticker of the country roads. I'm fantastic. I must say thanks for coming on board. It's great. Now, down the serious side of it, I've never heard a CEO before explain the annual budget as the community community budget. It's the community. And then when you look at it, it's put together, there's a lot of work in this put together by staff, agencies, council, and the community groups to get this document on the table. And when I now think of it, as staff, the CEO, and all the councillors, we're working on behalf of the ratepayers, really working hard on behalf of the ratepayers. And I look at what the previous mayor's done and all this grant money we've been getting. A lot of it's been unattached grant money where it just goes in, and but unfortunately it's got strings attached, so it has to be put on particular projects. I would have loved to get some of that money and put it into country roads, but unfortunately I'm not allowed to because it has a defined space. And I've yet to find a state or federal government person that wants to give us money for drainage and or for roads. Although my colleague over here did find $7 million
$73
over a period of time for underground drainage, which made Cowan Street and the area over there come to fruition. I won't ramble on, but it's a great report. It's got some vision in it. I'll just mention one project that I put in my term in council one term ago, and that was Pathways to the Future. We used to always put money into pathways and so forth, but unfortunately, when you get into council, you realise you have to prioritise funding, and you cannot always put your money where your mouth is at times, because you might have a bridge that collapses or something happens. You might have to top up a superannuation fund that we found, some councils found out many years ago, for about 300,000 or 400,000. So we can't supply everything we want to, but I'm sure that everybody around the table gets their fair share of what they want for their constituents. And if we can't do it, I think we've all man enough, person enough to be able to say to them, look, we can't do that this time. Getting back to Pathways to the Future, it was something we did, and I'm pleased to say that we put more money into footpaths in the last term and a half that I've been than what we did for the previous 2 or 3 terms before that. Unfortunately, when there's no funding, then we can't obviously put money into Pathways to the Future. When we have money for it, we will put it in there. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Would anyone else like to speak? Yes, Councillor O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, look, I think it's a really good report from Don and your team. Thank you very much. I can see it's a lot of hard work. And I think this report really shows us all the increased productivity that is occurring in Benalla. It also shows that Benalla Rural City has been able to achieve despite the impact of COVID-19. And I'd also like just to acknowledge the very positive independent auditors report that we received. I think that's been really, really terrific. It also highlights some areas that council can do better in, and that's what it's all about, feedback. So I think especially in the areas of economic development, consultation and engagement and advocacy and waste management. And I think this is really important feedback, and it will give council a goal to work towards in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Brien. Anyone else? Yes, Councillor Gunnar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a good report. I agree with other councillors and represent what our staff and the council has been doing the last 1 year. Great work, and in any council there are areas to improve, and any organisation there are. So that's reflected there as well. It's a good report. So it's our dashboard for the next year to see what to look at. And as Councillor Firth said, there are other benchmark platforms where community can look at this report along with other government organisations' recommendations and reports like WAGO and Community Satisfaction Survey from Dell, Know Your Council website, and also Essential Services Commission reports. So that gives the benchmark of some of these performance measures, which is a great reflection of the dashboard of our council, where we are heading and what we have done, and also gives the opportunity to benchmark with other similar councils. So I think it's good education tool for community to look at this report along with other materials that are available online for their reference, and understand what we're doing and what we need to do for the next 3 years in our term. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? No one else that would like to speak? Can I put that to the vote? All those in favour? That's passed. 9.7, Procurement Policy. Kathy,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
welcome.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The procurement policy has been impacted by the introduction of the new Local Government Act in 2020, and there was quite a defined process to be undertaken by the council and the officers to review procedures and policies and to become consistent across many of the local government, or 79 different local governments. They all got together, reviewed what was going on and tried to implement best practice, which is always a good thing. So as part of the introduction of the new Act, we had to undergo a review. We've gone through the formal processes of advertising the procurement policy that we've reviewed, and we put it out for public notice. We have received no submissions. Whilst we received no public submissions, there was a very active process within the chamber here discussing the impacts of local procurement, of social procurement, of officers' responsibilities to follow process and to have consideration of all tender items very transparent and open. So I'm really pleased to put forward this policy, which will be reviewed in September 25 again, but just to recognise that it's been a long process, a worthwhile process, and we really look forward to monitoring the outcomes of this new policy. I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Are there any questions of Kathy? If there's no questions, the recommendations on page 33 that the Benalla Rural City Council procurement policy be adopted, and 2, that Benalla Rural City Council procurement policy be reviewed in September 2025. Can I have someone move that? Councillor O'Brien, seconded Councillor King. Would you like to speak to that, Councillor O'Brien?
No, thank you, Madam Chair.
Would you like to speak to that, Councillor King?
Just to say, it's a very good policy. It's a very detailed policy. Congratulations, Kathy, on you and your team in putting it together.
Would anyone else like to speak? Councillor Claridge?
Yes, thank you. I'd just like to comment on the policy is a much improved policy to what the previous one was. We have spent a lot of time looking at sustainable and social procurement, and I'm glad to see that it's been bulked up in this policy, and hopefully all the staff will follow through and take these guidelines on board. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Claridge. Would anyone else like to speak? Yes, Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I'd like to support the recommendation, and it's a good policy and well thought about policy. We have extensive business reviews and conversation about this, and it went for the public submission for 28 days, and the audit and risk committee members were given the opportunity to provide their feedback on this policy. So it's all come after that process, and perfectly done policy with local content going into that. You will work tireless for that, Madam Mayor, and that's a good policy. I'm happy to support that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gunnerratney. Would anyone else like to speak? I would just like to add, exactly, thank you, Councillor Gunnerratney. I am so excited that the local content has finally come into our procurement policy. I have been trying to get that in since I started on council. This very slow wheel has finally turned. Thank you very much. So all those in favour? And that's passed. Thank you very much. Item 9.8, Mayor and Councillors' attendance at committee and civil functions. Okay, thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Mr. Testoni. We'll take that as read. Is there any changes to that? Everyone's happy with it? Yes, Councillor Kerr.
There's only one, Chair, with 27th September, visitor information sent to Museum Redevelopment Project progress update. Did we get that update? I just can't recall. It wasn't a meeting, was it? It was just an update.
I think it was a
Take that on notice.
Thank you.
Councillor Gunnerratney.
I was going to move the recommendation.
Oh, this one. Yes, councillor O'Brien.
Madam Chair, I was absent on the 27th of October. I didn't attend the council meeting or the Finance and Operations Committee meeting.
Thank you. Are there any other alterations? Okay, councillor Gunnar, you have to move that.
Yes.
And seconded, councillor Kerr. Would you like to speak to that, councillor Gunnar?
Yes, just to say a word, Madam Chair, it shows how much of work the councillor and the mayor has done over the last month period, as Councillor Parry explained earlier. And just to say that it's good work. Thank you very much.
Councillor Firth, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Would anyone else like to speak? Put that to the vote. All those in favour? That's passed. Item 9.9, councillor actions pending. Yes. We'll take that as read. Has anyone got any questions? And if there's no questions, I'd someone move that the report be noted. Councillor King, second, and Councillor Davis. Would you like to speak, Councillor
No,
King?
thank you, Madam Mayor.
Would you like to speak?
No, thank you, Madam Chair.
Would anyone else like to speak? I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? And that's passed. Item 10, reports from councillors. Are there any reports from councillors tonight? Yes, Councillor Claridge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have one brief report. On the 22nd of October, I met with FRV, which is Fire Rescue Victoria. They're the professional paid arm of the fire service. We're all a little bit concerned about why they wanted to meet, but it was just basically to have a chat. I met with the Assistant Chief Fire Officer, the Director of Fire Safety, the Community Safety Officer, and there was another gentleman who was in community activity as well. And so it was just a bit of a chat. They offered educational material, which I will chase up and make sure they have sent, which they supply their councils as required. And they currently operate in Shepparton and Wangaratta as a paid fire service alongside the CFA. And at this stage, they assure me that they're not looking or not considering setting up in Benalla, so local CFA people can rest assured that at this stage they're just here for educational purposes. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councillor Firth.
My report is really just a statement of what's going to come, Madam Chair, with regards to the last 2 years under the pandemic situation. Councillors simply haven't been able to have reports on committees because we haven't been able to go to committees, well, hardly any of them. But next year it's a whole new year, so I look forward to lots of reports coming back to council to share amongst the councillors, but I also look forward to actually being able to attend with residents of our committees. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Firth. Councillor O'Brien.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just to report that I last night attended the ARTC steering committee meeting about the change to the railway system in Benalla. And look, it's been meeting now for 12 months. Councillor King and myself have been council reps on that committee. It's really, really positive. It's a really positive outcome for Benalla. It's just really what we all wanted. Best for the community, best for Benalla. With the rail realignment, ARTC last night presented their environmental report, which is a huge document. It's available to be seen if anybody's watching at the ARTC office in Nunn Street, but also you can go online to read this report. Some people, they've done everything, studies on contaminated waste, noise, vibration, everything else. So it's all looking really positive. I think they've got another meeting planned for this committee in February next year. Then they will start drawing up more definite plans. They're still discussing the underpass, but nothing's decided yet. So that will just be a go through that. Look, everybody was really pleased. Benalla Better Rail had worked really hard with the community, and they've had council, state and federal government support. So it's really looking positive. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Brien. Anybody else? Yes, councillor Gunnar.
Thank you, Chair. I have a report from the Community Plan Implementation Steering Committee. We had the meeting on 3rd of November. We had the meeting on Zoom. Those members present, there are a couple of things to mention and highlight. Committee is working on developing a one-page summary to promote the Benelux community vision, which we adopted. And they had good ideas. They worked together, especially the community members have got together and they worked together and they came up with good few suggestions and looking at other councils from neighboring councils to develop this one-page summary where we can go to the community and explain what our community vision in a very summarized page. Secondly, they have done some groundwork on promoting our community vision to younger people especially. And there were some ideas I wouldn't probably disclose at the moment because they will be very exciting campaigns. That's what we are talking about. Go to the community and promote our community vision and say what we are doing and how can people engage with our community vision and understand it more to see what we are doing as the council and as the plan implementation steering committee. So we are very excited to announce some of these projects in the early next year. There will be some competitions for young kids to participate in, some painting, drawing sort of competitions to say how they understand our community. And we haven't finalized anything, but there are a few ideas on the table. We'll meet up again and finalize these plans and come back to the council again. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak? Nobody else would like to speak. I'll bring your attention to the recommendation that the reports be notified. Someone move that, please. Councillor Claridge, seconded. Councillor Gunnar-Ruttney, would you like to speak?
No, thank you, Madam Chair.
Would you like to speak, Councillor?
No, thank you, Madam Chair.
Would anyone else like to speak? Put that to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you, that's passed. We'll move on to item 11, notice of motion.
Yep.
Item 12, notice of rescission of motion.
Yep.
Item 13, urgent business. We have one. Item 13.1, proposed road deviation and land exchange liner road liner. Adrian, welcome.
Thanks, Madam Chair. This report presents a proposed road deviation and land exchange of Lima Road liner. This is not the first time Council is aware of the proposal. At the Council's Planning and Development meeting on the 16th of June this year, the committee, under its delegated authority, resolved to enter into an agreement with Florence Marie Murray and Lawrence James Murray, together the adjoining owners, to document the in-principle agreement between the parties regarding the proposed road deviation off part of Lima Road, Lima, the proposed subdivision and land exchange of the unused road, constructed road and adjoining owners' titles. Furthermore, Council was to give public notice of the proposed road deviation and land exchange pursuant to sections 207A, 189 and 223 of the Act, and undertake the administrative procedures necessary to enable the Council to carry out the functions under section 223 of the Act in relation to this matter. On the 1st of September this year, Council published in its public notice of the proposed road deviation and land exchange in the Benalla Ensign and on the Council's website under section 223 of the Act. No submissions were received in response to the public notice. The Council may therefore consider whether or not to carry out the road deviation pursuant to clause 2 of the Schedule 10 of the Act and the land exchange pursuant to section 189 of the Act. This report seeks the Council approval to carry out the road deviation and land exchange. It is recommended that Council proceed with the proposed road deviation and land exchange with the adjoining owners to achieve the realignment of Lima Road, Lima, and the adjoining owners' titles to reflect the physical situation on the ground. The recommendation reads: the Council resolves to deviate part of Lima Road, Lima, which comprises the following. A, the part of the road shown hatched on the plan contained in attachment 3 to this report. as unused road, which will be discontinued and transferred to council. B, the part of the road shown cross-hatched on the plan contained in attachment 3 to this report is constructed road, which will be designated as a road and vested in council. And 2, that the council, subject to the council first resolving to proceed with the proposed road deviation and resolves to complete the land exchange of the unused road, constructed road and the adjoining owners' titles, which will result in the creation of Lot 1 on proposed plan of subdivision, a copy of which is contained in attachment 4 to this report, being registered in the name of Florence Marie Murray. B, Lot 2 on the plan of subdivision being registered in the name of Lawrence James Murray. And C, the total of the whole of Lima Road as constructed, shown marked as Lima Road on the plan of subdivision being registered in council's name. 3, that council direct a notice under clause 2, 3 of the of Schedule 10 of the Act be published in the Victoria Government Gazette to give effect to the road deviation, and for the council authorise the Chief Executive Officer to sign any documents necessary to give effect to the road deviation and land discharge.
Have any councillors got questions of Adrian? If nobody's got any questions, can I have someone move that? Councillor Firth, seconded. Councillor Davis, would you like to speak to that, Councillor Firth?
Yes, Madam Chair. Thanks to Adrian and staff to get this together. I know this has been a terribly elongated and difficult and technically challenging thing to make happen. It really does go a long way. If anybody's interested, have a look at the history of this. It brings up the importance of councils having to do their job at the time the right way. Won't go into the whole history of this particular matter, but it's been there for 50 years, and it was just a bit of a change. Nobody worried about it until somebody wanted to do something else, and then it hit the fan. And it creates a hell of a lot of emotional upset for lots of people involved, including the owners, people who want to get on with their lives, and staff that have no responsibility for whatsoever, other than staff didn't do their job 50 years ago properly. But at the end of the day, we've been able to work through all the difficulties, and we're here tonight. And Madam Mayor, I'd like to think this is probably going to be the first road that you'll be able to open as a new road in the Shire of Campanella for a long, long time. Adrian, you're going to get a ribbon. But anyway, more than happy that it's here, done, and thank you, Adrian.
Thank you, Councillor Firth. Councillor Davis, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once again, thank you to the CEO and to Adrian and staff that have put this to us tonight. I'd also like to acknowledge my colleague, Don Firth, for the amount of work and the persistence he put in over a number of years. Unfortunately, Pandora's box, I'd like to think that this is the last one of these that we're going to vote on. And I see the CEO smiling. But it's not until we have new generations of young farmers or new generation of people going on the land that people suddenly start having fine looks at their titles and getting out and measuring like they should when they buy a block of land. But unfortunately, farmers don't go and peg it all out like you do in town. When you buy your first house, when you're married, the first thing you go out to see is whether it's 66 by 132 metres, and you're happy with it. But when you get out on town, don't quite do those sort of things. And I think these are just going to come up, not to this council, but for many councils to come in the future. So the quicker we get onto them and sort them out and move on, the quicker we can get on to the next one, if and when it appears its ugly head. Once again, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. Would anyone else like to speak on this matter? No one else would like to speak? Okay, vote, please. All those in favour? Thank you, that's passed. Item 14, confidential business. The recommendation is that the meeting be closed to the public for the consideration of the confidential business item noted above pursuant to section 3, brackets 1, section 66(2)(a) of the Local Government Act. Can I have someone move that, please? Thank you, Councillor King, seconded Councillor Claridge. All those in favour? Thank you.